for coming here today. Today, Mr. Vamsi, who is the publisher of this book, is inviting you all for this. Thank you. I'm Nishan.
So, good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the book launch of Lotus Consciousness, written by Dr. Prithika Chary. So, just a brief introduction about ma'am. Dr. Prithika Chary is a renowned neurosurgeon who's a life coach who has dedicated her life towards the upliftment of humankind. She has created a book that is a potpourri of wisdom and tested practices that will transform your life and create abundance, peace, and joy in all spheres of your life. Transformation is a journey, and the book will guide you to reach your goals if you diligently follow it for the next 10 weeks. So if you want to transform your life, you want to make a change and take the effort to make the change, I think this is a wonderful book, and I expect the audience to actually read the book and benefit a lot. So that is about the book, and ma'am, a brief introduction about ma'am. So I'd like to take this opportunity opportunity to welcome the guests, actually, Mr. Surendran and Ms. Shylaja. So a brief introduction about Mr. Surendran. He's the CEO of Success Gyan, India's leading platform for personal and professional growth. Mr. Surendran is a trailblazer who has overcome great adversities in life to establish Success Gyan, which has brought over 75 plus, maybe even more, international speakers to India. He's played a pivotal role in bringing great minds from across the globe to India and enlightening us. So welcome, Mr. Surendran. Next comes the celebrity, Ms. Shylaja Chetlur, is an accomplished actor, filmmaker, entrepreneur, and who's also the founding and managing trustee of the non-profit organization Rendezvous Trust, which showcases cinema of substance and promotes cross-cultural understanding. She also runs a production house called Shylaja Production, which produces corporate films, documentaries, and public service announcement films. She's a prolific speaker and is a part of many associations like Andhra Chamber of Commerce, South Indian Chamber of Commerce, the Duchess Club, and the Hindustan Chamber of Commerce. I would also like to take this opportunity to invite the August gathering present and for the launch of this book, Lotus Consciousness. So welcome one and all to this beautiful function. Be enlightened, because there's going to be a wonderful conversation between three beautiful people, three beautiful minds, and let us have fun, learn, and enjoy the conversation. I would request Dr. Prithika Chary to take the stage and start the discussion. Yes.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for coming. This book was, I think it was somewhere deep inside the pond, because I wrote my first book and it was launched in September by Duchess Club. And suddenly by December, I found that I had written a second book. And it was not as if I had to think and search for ideas or anything. It just sort of happened. It kept coming. And it took the shape of, I don't know why throughout this thing, I was actually, it's interesting that I was doing some prayers for Devi. And, you know, Lakshmi sits on a lotus, Saraswati sits on a lotus. So I don't know, maybe it came subconsciously from there. I have no idea. And it was something that everybody has been telling me, as some of you already know. I was diagnosed with a rectal cancer, grade 3 in 2016. And lots of people have been saying, you must write about it. But I was not very comfortable writing the way people normally write, you know, talking a lot about the pain and the suffering and all that kind of thing. And saying, yes, you too are suffering, I too have suffered. I relate to you, that kind of thing. I wanted it to be, yes, there is suffering. And like I said, I have to do everything that's in that book today. Life happens to everybody. But you have to learn to ride the wave. And my God, have I ridden the wave all my life. So many things. There are some very close friends of mine who really know all the deepest traumas I have suffered. But what happens to all of us is we think that we are alone. Only I am suffering. Not at all. Somebody has suffered before you, somebody is going to suffer after you. It's a common phenomenon. And the other thing which I felt that we had to break in the mindset was, we have to learn to embrace impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. So enjoy this moment. Enjoy right now. That is more important, I thought. And I thought that's how I went through a lot of my difficulties. Then I said, yes, now I'm grey-haired enough and I can actually tell people and they're likely to listen and appreciate that this is coming from experience. And being a very highly qualified and practicing neurologist, neurosurgeon, I brought the neuroscience into it as well and said, why? Your brain actually gets damaged if you don't cultivate resilience. But when I say resilience, many people don't understand what is resilience. It's just your ability to bounce back from whatever life throws at you. Just being able to bounce back. You may not bounce back as well as you were before, but that's okay. The fact is you're not staying down. And I always use the analogy of a child learning to walk. You see a 1-year-old child. Fantastic. He'll fall 100 times. He'll even hurt himself. And you will say, no, don't. No. He'll pick himself up and walk. And then there are so many baby videos on the internet where you will say, see the baby trying to get from point A to point B to pick up the toy or whatever. They'll be sliding down up and on their bum, actually. They'll be crawling. They'll be doing all kinds of funny movements in order to reach from point A. They go to their goal. So I believe that we can all be the same. Nothing should stop us. We should be able to say, yes, it happened. And I also use the analogy of the going on the road. So I had to come from my home to MMA by 3 p.m. today. What happened? Call driver didn't turn up. I haven't driven my car, this new car. I've forgotten how to drive an automatic. So day before yesterday when I started driving the automatic, I was doing all kinds of wrong things. I was putting my foot on the brake and the accelerator and then jumping, all that. But I said, okay, we'll adapt. And I learned how to start doing it. And I'm fine. I drove down here, I'm okay. So I got my job done. So when we decide we want to go somewhere, and my whole life has been like that. When I've decided, I've got total clarity where I'm going, what I want in my life. That's very important. So I just go. You want to block me? Fine. Thank you very much. You don't serve me. If you don't mind, I'll go my way, you go your way. Let us have a parallel line relationship where I'm civil to you. We say hi, bye. But you can keep going on your path, I'll go on my path. You want to help me? Come along for the ride. You want to be with me? You want to encourage me? Thank you very much. So that is the way I've gone through life. Nobody is there, that's also fine. So I tried to bring all those little things which have helped me into this book. And I had to make it simple. I had to make it relatable. I had to make it so that anybody can understand that this is not something only Prithika Chary can do. I can do it. And so it's more or less like a 10-week course, if you want to call it. 10-chapter course. Whether it's a 10-week or 10-month is up to you. And actually I have created a 90-day coaching program called LOTUS Consciousness, where I will be teaching people the step-by-step methodology on how to do this, which we are launching on February 14th, our Valentine's Day gift to show how much we love people. And the whole aim of my coaching and all that is so that I can help. I want a gentler, kinder, friendlier world. I'm tired of the competitiveness. I'm tired of the, one-upmanship. I'm tired of the I have to be the best. And I've learned that acceptance is accepting myself as I am, others as they are, situations as they are. And if you have that one step, everything else becomes so much easier to do. And mind you, I was not like this. I was a totally different person some 10, 15 years ago. And if I, that hard-headed person whom I was, can change, I think anybody can change. And the cancer experience acted like a pivot, actually. Because sometimes, we end up running very fast in the wrong direction. So I had a lot of time, I had a lot of thought processes. I could understand certain things through all the difficulties I faced. And I think it actually made my life better. And it's that kind of hope, inspiration, which I've tried to convey through this book. And I called it Lotus Consciousness because I copied my mentor Gopal, who has started something called Uniconsciousness, unicornism he calls it. So I mimicked him and created one consciousness. Then he has, he's got 4 words which like a slogan. So my book has got 4 words as the core skills. I embrace everything, the bad that's happening in my life, good that's happening, ugly, everything I embrace. From that I transform. And after I transform, I rise. I don't just stay there. I've transformed, I'm okay. I rise. I break the surface, come out. And then I radiate and spread that to everybody else. I've tried to embody that, I've tried to live it. And I thought it would be a good way to take the book forward. So that is how and why this book happened. So thank you for coming. I'm really deeply touched that you all are here today.
Thank you so much, Doctor. And I should say a special hello to Captain, whom I relate to MMA and him. And I just want to tell you, I think you will see new energy in this space, right? Doctor was just telling me that she was very particular that she have this here. And I think each and everyone here, including Mr. Vamsi with this little pale pink shirt, to that lovely lady there with the dupatta, pink, please come forward. Love to see all of you here. You can come, no reservations here. Please come to the seats out here. And you can cross the camera and go and sit this side also. I just find each and every one of us merging with the space so beautifully.
Come and just stand here, let's take a picture.
There's some element which is very nice. Like I was just looking at Savera's Neena Reddy and she looked like part of this whole thing. That kind of, another kind of radiance. And there's another kind of elegance with this pastel. So it's lovely that everybody is here. And for me specifically, you want a group picture now?
Stand here. Just stand near us. Let's take a picture.
You want everyone to come?
Take the pink ones, all the pink ones.
Anybody with a pink coincidence, please come forward. You can sit here. Ladies, you can sit here. So life throws these sudden surprises. You never thought of it during the pink, but okay, you have to stand here in a picture.
I'll stand here, right? I'll stand here.
No, it's okay.
No.
Neena, you can
No, you sit here.
Okay, yeah? That's going to go on the live now.
I'm here, ma'am.
Sit there, balance it.
Ma'am, there's only balance on.
Okay, so while we click the picture,
Come there. Just come.
Even Raj, he can come. It doesn't matter if they're not come.
yeah, okay.
Come on, just show how
Then I think we should have everyone. I thought we were going to do it at the end of it.
Pathari and that. Please come. Nanga and that.
So everyone can walk up and I can... All of us can check out our connect with the Lotus. The greens, the pinks. Captain, please join us. Please come. Now that everybody's come, I think we should do a full group picture. லைவ்ல இருக்கிறவர் ஒரே கவலையா இருக்காரு. லைவ்ல கவலையா இருக்காரு அவரு. Yeah. So I think this is a nice moment for all of us to think our connect with the Lotus. I was just saying, I said, okay, pink, Lotus. Then I saw green. I thought, okay, stock.
எல்லாமே தீமோட இருக்கு. For those who are watching live, this is just to show the amount of love that I have in my life. For those who are watching live, it is these friends who helped me through my cancer journey, and if it was not for them, I won't be here today.
You do so much for us.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, I mean, she very easily said, Lotus, we see Lotus with Saraswati or Mahalakshmi or different things, and Lotus just came forth. How many of you read the book? Nobody would have read it.
Anu, you're the only one who's read the book. Ramesh has read.
So I just wanted to say that she made it sound very simple, saying Lotus just came up because I see her in Saraswati and everything. But what is beautiful is that, okay, with my film background, I'm looking at everything like a screenplay or the whole script of the book. The Lotus is not just a character there, but whatever happens to the Lotus, at one point I started looking at it like a person in a series, and she's written the whole book felt like an episodic thing. I know she's done chapters, but when we work on an 8-episode series or something, you have certain rules about you bring one crisis there and then you resolve it and then you go on. I found reading some of those things so typically like that. And at one point, I just realized it's very effective writing, not just in terms of content, but in terms of style also. Because I started feeling, you and the Lotus should come out of the water. I mean, that's how you feel for a protagonist in a story, right? When you watch it on film or something. So I think structurally, it's beautiful. It's episodic, that it takes you through an emotion and then there's a climax to it. And then again, there's something, there's a build up and then you get something. And I know I remember Doctor for a number of things. I know her because of the Duchess Club close-up. But the biggest thing I remember about her is amygdala. All the doctors here will know, and I think we've at the Duchess Club heard her talk about it. And that was the first time I had heard about amygdala, though I had studied biology, I had not remembered it. But the way she connected amygdala to me, to the audience there that day, was amazing. And then I just found that during the introduction, I think he said, you have neurosurgeon, you have neurologist, then you have epilepsy specialty. And then she's talking about self-motivation, inspiration, mental awareness, so psychology, psychiatry. So I was trying to think of all the words this morning. So I think there is resilience psychology, then manifestation-based interventions. And I really thought it was like, as a neurosurgeon, you have interventional therapies, you do something with the nerves, you connect them, you're creating neurons coming together, sensorial inputs. All of this, the book took a more significant turn for me because it was a doctor saying all this. It was not just anybody saying this so that they just had to write something. It was not just the cancer that she went through, but that she actually works with not bones and muscles, but nerves, which is where we think a lot of, today we understand several things are connected to our nerves. And biologically, deficiency, so many things affect the nerves. That she connects the mind and the nerves this way was amazing for me. And so I told you about amygdala, and most of you will have something like this about doctor. She sent me books on spiritual tourism. when we were, through Wanderlust, we were doing trips. She's very conscious of these little things. Amidst a busy schedule, she would do all these things. And she once called me to an elder care program, and I took another younger person, and she just met me somewhere, but she said, okay, this person can do something, can you come and entertain them for 2 hours? And then she understands that we're all people who get passionate about things we do, right? I think it is that passion which has driven you. Though you worked with science and the body so much, you got into the mind, and you've structured, a literary structure also has come out so well in the book. Those of us who read it will understand that. And I came in when doctor told me, will you do this? I said, yo doctor, okay, self-care book innone edirukanga, but namma doctor, I like her so much, so I should do that. But doctor, I was so wrong. I was so wrong. I think this book reached me at a time in my life when I understood about lotus emerging out of water. I think everything happens for a purpose in life, and I took the book like a job, like sitting here and somebody I like, so I will do this job, but it has become very personal for me, and I'm looking forward to slowly working out all those sessions, those exercises she's given at the end. And while I was doing this morning, my son, who is 27 years old and is majorly into, he's into stocks, but reads a lot of Bhagavad Gita and all that, he took it up. And he said, Amma, when you finish this program, will you give it to me? I think it's very interesting. So there was a 54-year-old, there was a 27-year-old, my son. And I thought, because he doesn't come up and say these things to me often, I really thought, so it's amazing that you've written this, doctor. It's beautiful. I'm going to ask you to read us some passage. Okay, most book launches we do that, but specifically also because something which resonates with you. You wrote about the lotus and all that, but why specifically this book at this time? And is writing something like in Tamil cinema, I think one of those films like God will come and touch your tongue, and then you suddenly start saying poetry, Karasarla Vanda Madri, stories like that. Did you get something? Because the other two books I see are smaller ones. This, though it is just those 100 pages, I think you'll end up writing more because of those exercises. How did this happen to you, and what is your favorite passage from the book?
Actually, the part of the book which I like and I want people to understand is that resilience is actually a very deep practice. And it is not a one-time practice. It is something that you have to live every single day of your life till the day we are no longer around. And so actually I've written a portion in the book on shallow resilience, and how sometimes we practice shallow resilience and then we say, oh yeah, resilience is all very good. The people tell us, so that for that one episode or that one situation, you are resilient. And then you come out and say, okay, this is okay, but you go back. So you need to make it a stepwise deepening. You need to make it a stepwise deepening. And that stepwise deepening can happen only if you work on it. And when you work on it, what do? You start embodying it. It's not just to have the knowledge, you have to have it inside every cell of your body. And that takes time. Only then you'll have deep resilience. Because with deep resilience, nothing can faze you. Nothing. Nobody can stop you. But shallow resilience, yes, maybe you'll manage to get through this particular challenge. But a bigger challenge comes, you may buckle under. So I really like the portion on shallow resilience.
Would you like to read it?
I have to find it.
Yeah, so I had asked Suren also to mark a passage, and I had a difficult choice. Anyway, I was prepared, like if they read off mine, I go on to something else. But I had difficulty choosing 5 because there are so many lines which seem like I can post with the Insta pictures. Such wise lines all over.
So, shallow resilience, I said the problem with shallow resilience is that many people have a very superficial view. They think too many people think resilience is just about toughing it out or bouncing back from hardship quickly. But this surface level understanding of resilience doesn't address the deeper inner work that's required. When you only focus on enduring hardships without nurturing your inner self, you risk burnout and disconnection. And you neglect the inner journey. Without a strong mental and spiritual foundation, resilience can feel hollow and forced. Challenges can overwhelm you when you don't have the inner strength to navigate them. This lack of a deeper connection makes it easy to feel lost when life throws you into adversity. The consequences of shallow resilience are emotional burnout, disconnection from your purpose, inability to sustain growth. So, resilience is something which you just have to understand in depth. And when you go through this book, you will definitely understand what is true resilience.
Thank you, Doctor. You constantly speak about a certain spiritual connect. Now, is that something young people also get easily, or does it come because we are aging, we've gone through troubles in our life, and only then we search towards God? What's been your experience, especially as a medical doctor, from there to here?
I have always been spiritual in a non-religious way. Let's put it that way. I believe there's a God. I believe there's a greater power. I believe that I can't do it all, and there is somebody to whom I can ask help from, whom I can access, and whom anybody can access. You can call that greater power by any name you want. So for me, my favorite name is Ganesha. The reason why I'm very fond of Ganesha is because he removes obstacles. And my concept of resilience is about the obstacle is the way. You can't just go up, down, in, out, and then think the obstacle will go away. You have to go through it. And when you go through it, you need resilience, and you have to be mentally pretty tough to just go through it. That is why I created a concept called stress fitness, which you start building from the age of 20, 30. And when you give this spiritual connotation to it, you also learn to understand that we are not different from each other. We are all one. And that feeling of oneness will make me behave to you the same way I expect you to behave to me. And I think age has nothing to do with that. It's a feeling of just understanding it is common humanity, if you want to call it. We are all humans. None of us is perfect. Our lives are not perfect. We bungle along, we blunder along. But we can still have a good life. And we can make a good life for other people as well.
Thanks, Doctor. So she was talking about, in a non-religious way, she's very spiritual. So one sample of that is, there is a section, Stories of Resilience to Inspire You. Sharanya's story, Jamal's story, Mohan's story, Xavier's story. She's very secular there. And so, I mean, it's nice the way she moves about. I've seen her in her clinic as well as in other places. Very inclusive in that way, sometimes very harsh. With her intellect and her looks and the aura of all these qualifications she has, she can cut people down to size very easily. But then immediately there'll be another warmth which will be a total turnaround. And it's lovely seeing how she balances all this and keeps so many people strongly connected in her life. They would have been burnt by her, but they can't leave her and go. And I think that's what, she nurtures relationships like that. There's something giving and taking, which she talks about that. And she says you always can't be giving. There's something you need to be taking back. So that is also there. Now coming to Suren. Success Gyan. This word Gyan today sometimes is used in such a negative connotation also. But you've chosen that to be your company's name. And I know how much Doctor really respects you. So why do you do what you do?
Thank you, Shylaja. Very good evening. And I want to start by saying my first experience with Doctor. I don't know whether you remember. We had a training program in Singapore, and it was 2017, 2018. Yeah, she knows it better. 2018 Jan. That's the first time I get to meet her. I had gone with my wife Shiny, and she says, Dr. Prithika Chary. I said, I've heard her. I know. You're going to finally meet her. She was my co-participant. We had 14,000 people in that room, all age groups. And she was going through a treatment of cancer at that time. The person who participated in that room for 4 full days, those are 16 hours days with her health condition. I was telling Shiny, I know she's 17 plus, but the people I met, she's got more energy than 17-year-olds I meet. So that's my first experience of you in Singapore. And I'll never forget the 4 days I spent with you that time. I believe what you go through in life, your mess will eventually become your message to the world. What you've gone through and the way this book has come up is going to be her message to the world. More than talking about the book, I want to talk who needs this book and what will this book do to them. Can I do a small demonstration? Is that okay, Shylaja? And I want everyone to participate. Is that okay? Are you guys sure? The people watching there also. It's very simple, very easy, because if you get this, you'll get what this book can do. Wherever you're seated, I want you to take your right hand. Can you lift your right hand, please? Point it up. Okay. This finger. I want you to draw a clockwise circle. Can you draw a clockwise circle? Can you all see the clockwise circle? Because I want to draw it here, so that I want you to see the clockwise circle. Okay. Can you lift your hand so that you can see the clockwise circle? All of you can see the clockwise circle? Clear? I want you to pull the circle down. Can you tell me which direction the circle is right now? Can you look and tell me? Which direction? Are you sure? He still has got a doubt. What happened? What happened now? What just happened? I know. 100 times you still get the same answer. What just happened? When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. For me, this book is hope. Irrespective of what you're going through in life, whatever challenges, the minute you change the perception, the way you look at it, it will change. And for me, this book is that hope. Somebody who's gone through it and who's got the energy, zeal to come back and serve people, because I know becoming a coach at this age is not easy. I run the largest ecosystem for coaches in the country. We have 35,000 digital coaches. The biggest community in the world is under Success Gyan. It is not easy to go through the journey because there's a lot of skills to be done, online, digital. Her mess is eventually going to be the message to the world. So for me, first, a big thank you for inviting me. I'm truly honored and privileged to be in this room. And friends like Dr. Nina Reddy, I'm meeting her for many years. She's a big inspiration for me by doing what she does. Yeah, she's a big inspiration, and Shylaja, for what you do. So big thank you for being here, and I'm going to take my portion of the book first, which I really love. It's in page 27. What I love about the book is it's a very easy read. You can read it in 90 minutes, one shot. It's very easy. But the deep meaning of each paragraph, if you get the essence of it, it will change your life. I'm going to take my favorite portion. It's page 27. The heading is The Power of Embracing Challenges. I think even nature feels it's a very powerful paragraph. If you want real growth, you got to stop running from the challenges life throws your way. The lotus doesn't just rise above the mud, it embraces it. The mud is where it draws its strengths from, its nutrients, and the foundation it needs to thrive. Your challenges, struggles, and pain, they are the mud. They are fuel for your transformation. If you get this paragraph, you get the book. I believe nature throws challenges because if you want to evolve and grow, you need to get challenges. And one of my mentors told me this: the price of overcoming a challenge, the price of overcoming a challenge is a bigger challenge. That's law of nature. As simple as that. If you overcome a challenge, you're going to get a bigger challenge because nature wants to evolve and grow. So thank you, doctor, for writing this book. I'm going to do whatever it takes with the ecosystem and network I have to take this book to the masses. I really believe people going through challenges need to grab a copy of this, and I'm going to do whatever it takes for that. Thank you.
That's lovely, and it's so evident you're a speaker. So, I mean, that's about Success Gyan. There's this passage which, one of the first passages I identified. I want to read that. And you're talking about coping with resilience, coping with difficult situations. But I also know that especially women and most of our television series and many of my friends' lives, my own life also, I've seen this. I'll read it. When adversity hits, most of us feel fragile. Whether it's a personal loss, a health crisis, just a relentless grind of everyday struggles, it's easy to feel like you're falling apart. You feel vulnerable, broken. But fragility only takes root when resilience hasn't been cultivated. So we feel fragile. I know stories, so many stories are written on this fragile nature of the human fragile nature. And then I know many times we go through emotional, hysterical moments because I think many times it helps women come out of it. I've always thought it's a fantastic trick women had also because we were allowed to do it. Sadly, men sometimes don't know how to do it or socially they were conditioned not to do it. Though we are joked about it, that was also a rescue mechanism which many of us used, I think. So we throw one big emotional drama and then we come out of it. But that's not what you're talking about. Can you share some thoughts about that? Because many times we cope and come out of it. We create drama and then everybody who's in love with us or is concerned with us will feel low, but we would have come out of it.
See, the whole goal of creating a drama is I want attention. So it is actually, if you have developed your inner strength and you are not at all dependent on external validation, you don't need somebody to come and tell you, listen, you matter. So this, one of the things that I make many of my coaches repeat repeatedly is, I am enough. I matter. I am worth it. 90% of people do not love themselves, including me. I too went through that. We are so absorbed with this trying to be so good to everybody. Everybody must think I'm a good person. And then, so I'm doing this, I'm doing that. We become a sacrificial goat in our own way. Self-induced, not, other people need not do it. We do it ourselves. So I always tell, you are not a candle. You're supposed to give light to everybody and burn yourself down. No. You are an oil lamp. Burn bright in your own flame. Only then you can sustain that flame, give light to others, and illuminate the area around you and shine your own light. So I think that is the main concept. So there's no need for drama if you are very, very comfortable in your own skin.
And so, speaking as a medical professional, how much of it is just mind play? Is there a physical angle to all this emotional, hysterical behavior?
Yes, there will be a if you have, see, the brain and the body is trained to seek pleasure or avoid pain. It's the fundamental thing about everything that in our lives. So, naturally, when you have a physical pain, it's difficult. And I don't mind sharing that the most difficult part of my entire cancer treatment was the ileostomy. So we had this rubbery thing stuck on my abdomen with a bag hanging from it, into which the stool will collect, and which means you can't lie down. You have to be in this position, sitting, semi-sitting for 4 months. Because if you lie down, the bag will, get displaced and it will cause problem. My skin is very sensitive. Under that things adhering to my skin, it would burn 24 hours a day. But what is the use of creating drama? Is the pain going to go away? No. Can somebody who loves you very much come and bear the pain for you? No. So what I did, I used to figure out, divert myself, distract myself. So by kicking up a fuss, nothing is going to happen. I would tell the colostomy assistant, maybe put some cream or give me something which would make it less. It actually became red and inflamed. But there wasn't much we could do. 4 months. Undiluted hell. But many of you have met me during the ileostomy. So was there any drama? Was there any blame, complaint, excuse, sobbing? Didn't we all have laugh? And I even attended some of your Duchess functions with
And
the
you were
ileostomy
dancing.
bag, dancing.
Looking good.
Tried to dress well as much as I could. So understand that nobody will come and rescue you. You have to take 100% responsibility for your own life. There's no knight in shining armor who's going to come and rescue you. So early in life, learn how to rescue yourself. And the best rescue is becoming resilient. And that starts with accepting everything and going with the flow of life. And it's not easy. Let me tell you, it's not easy. But it is a learnable skill. It's a teachable skill. And there are many people who can help you. And that is why I've created a new course for 90 days starting February 14th, entirely on Lotus Consciousness. 12 principles. So it'll be transformative. And that's it. That's my take on drama.
So these words are coming from a very personal space which she has walked. It's not just been an easy walk. And I remember 3 things when you spoke to me about this phase. One was she wanted to come to our film club screening, and she called me the previous evening and reminded me the next day in the morning also. She asked for a chair with has cushion. I mean, she didn't shy away from that. She was open about her condition, like how she's talking on a live now. And she broke it down so that, because I'm not going to understand what exactly it is. She said, I want a seat with a cushion where it can't be any other seat. So it's nice to sometimes ask, because I've always had a problem, like my husband say, why don't you say what you want? Why are you expecting me to guess? So I think that's a valuable lesson I learned from her. And so I remember when we went to visit her in Kaveri, she had a ledger of, she had a nurse, but then if we were coming to visit, she had time bands. She would say, okay, Anu is coming at this time, you come at this time, this person comes. And you won't believe it, doctor, I've made 10 people do that. Because constantly we kept coming up with so many people who are falling ill and all that. I said, this is something I learned from Dr. Prithika Chary. And will you do that? It's amazing. So many, and the way you adapted to online, Insta and all those things, I think to have that childish inquisitive curiosity to go and do these things and not looking for this approbation, what she just mentioned, it's amazing, because I think many of us suffer from that.
Oh, I'm having a lot of fun. I got exposed to the word Insta in the DMB or whatever, one Success Gyan conference which I attended in 2019. And one of the exercises on the second day was, you have to create an Insta account, take one video and show it, post it. So that's the first time in my life I even heard the word Instagram. And now I'm doing Insta lives, I'm posting on social media, I've learned Canva, I've learned InShot, I'm doing all kinds of things and having the time of my life.
And I just felt, I remember when I was in convent and later with the Bhagavad Gita somebody had given me also. When I was in the convent, it was with the Bible. I remember my nun gave me one stack of cards. She said, if you any day you feel like it, just pick it up, read something. And it's like some people read the forecast of the Aries or Leo on the newspaper, right? You'll connect to it somewhere. And I seriously think this book connects to each of us, because the last 1 week on different days, I would just open something. And initially I said, okay, it just came. I'm not going to take it seriously. I think when it gets closer, when the moment came, I really saw it connecting in some way. And coming to Insta, you just open any page. So I just did this game this morning. I opened a page and I said, what are Insta worthy tonight to put along with nice pictures of mine on a post or a story? Resilience is the alchemy that transforms suffering into power. Won't it look great with a nice photo or something like I shot here for you, Nina? Transformation requires courage. You just do something. I mean, you're going to increase your followers with all these lines, because these are lines which I think percolate, resonate deep inside everyone's mind in different ways. Resilience breaks the chains of limitation. You keep meditating on it, I think you'll go through several layers will just open up. And then something else I wanted to ask you. You say self-actualization is not a one-time achievement. It's a lifelong process. It's about continually aligning with your true self, your values, and your purpose. You're constantly becoming more of whom you are meant to be. Push the boundaries of your personal and spiritual growth. Visit your goals, values, and beliefs regularly. And this is coming from a successful medical practitioner who crossed 70. And I know like 45, there are people who just say, I'm done with life. You know, and they just say they've retired, they just want to sit or do different things. At 55, no, I can't go out, my knees are hurting or something else will come up. So how do you keep reinventing yourself constantly like this? I'm amazed the way in which some of you women are able to connect back to so many things for your own self, not for it. Because if you lose the interest, the sparkle in your eye is going to go. That effort you took to wear this dress or that earring, because we're also going through the self-doubt. In the Westland, Chennai, can I do this? This is not Bombay. Oh, can I do it for this crowd? Duchess Club crowd, it's okay. This crowd, I can't do it. But then to smartly do all this, to have that zeal to, how do you maintain that, doctor?
See, we are all constantly changing. We are never the same. So you just have to recognize that there are so many things happen to you which make you change. And you've got your core skills, you've got your core goals, you've got total clarity on what is important in your life, where you want to go, what you want to become. All of this is very, very clear in my head. And who matters, what matters. So once you've got all this in your head very clear, whenever change occurs and makes you modify some of those things, you have to learn to align it. Keep on reinventing is because you keep on realigning. Redirection, realigning. It is a kind of rejuvenation because it has to happen. Otherwise, you will never feel totally content. When you get complacent, that is the end. So I've achieved all this. In fact, somebody asked me, you would famous irundittu yen in the class ella vandu attend pandringa. And because I'm attending a class with some 20-year-olds, 40-year-olds, and people who are just struggling and coming up in life. In fact, in the coaching class itself, in the audience, the interaction, they ask, ma'am, you're an inspiration, but then why do you have to do this? You're a success, you got name, fame, money, everything in your life. Why are you doing this? So there should always be a very strong why. Every morning when I get up, I'm doing a huddle in the morning, 7:30 to 8, Monday to Friday. We've started this in June on my birthday, on my 76th birthday. And every morning, I've got to serve my community. What am I going to inspire them with today? And that makes me get up. And if I have not already got some concept to share, I sit down, look it up, prepare it, work on it. So, as I told my community, it's not just helping you, it's helping me. Because every day I'm looking up a new concept, I'm realigning, I'm learning something new. And that comes, I'm blessed with the insatiable curiosity. I'm curious about everything. And you should never lose your sense of wonder. In fact, lots of my friends say you behave like a child sometimes. I said, I don't want to lose it. So I don't want to lose it. Because that's what keeps me, giving me the energy and the zest. You ask Zainab, she's an old friend. When we go on our trips in International Women's Association, we are dancing together with the belly dancer. I've got a photo of her and me dancing with the belly dancer. So, life is meant to be enjoyed, not endured. So, have fun. God has blessed us with so many things. There's a beautiful poem which I shared with my community, which I don't remember by heart, but one of the lines in that is, I asked God to give me everything that will make me a success. God said no. I've surrounded you with so many things. It's up to you to enjoy them. So I think that sums it up.
So before we open the questions for the audience to participate.
You have read the book.
Yes. I just want to read the passage which resonated with me. I mean, we're not talking about the same thing. She could be speaking about cancer or different things. Each of us, as somebody mentioned, we are relating to it in different ways. Failing to maintain your light creates an inner struggle. You feel like you're not living up to your potential. You've come so far, but that creeping doubt starts to whisper, am I really embodying the lessons I've learned? This can lead to guilt, frustration, even disappointment in yourself. In full bloom, the lotus stands tall, radiating strength and beauty. It doesn't have to prove anything. Its presence alone is powerful. This stage of your journey is about being rather than constantly doing. You overcome adversity, and now it's time to own that. The strength you carry simply by existing after all you've been through is a force that can uplift others. This made so much sense to me and gave me clarity in something I'm going through in life. So there are different portions we'll all relate to. And it is in this page when I realized this book is structured like an 8-episodic Netflix series. Like that page starts with, you achieved transformation, but now what? The fear of losing the momentum you built is real. So each time she's taking you through this, so it's very interesting reading, and those end portions are with exercises we need to do. I really look forward to doing those things, Doctor. Yeah, very interesting, and I think that's where her book, somewhere I feel there was this series thing wherein the story is told and you take it forward, and you had two options. They tried it with some television network. I think she's done something like that with this book. Every chapter she's finishing and you are actually going and completing that chapter for her. I think that's the personal connect she's creating with each one of her readers. She's made us part of that process and made her part of our life journeys. And I think for somebody, I mean, as we age, we read so much, we listen to so many people, to again feel charged about that is amazing, Doctor. Can I have somebody pass? Okay. Why don't you come forward so that you're on camera also? We'll pass the mic to you. Those of you who want to interact with her, share something about her, anything, you're all welcome. Anu, we'll start with you.
The evening also. Come.
Come. In front of the camera, every minute counts. Come. Please sit down.
What do I say? I mean, I really... see, actually, Doc gave me the book to proofread. And she said, Anu, you check it up, you go through it and things like that. So then I said, okay. And every page that I would read, it was a revelation of a lot of things, you know, about myself. I think it was like an internal journey for me. And really, you know, it's all there, and it just needs to bloom, the lotus. It just needs to come out, you know. I think that's the beauty of the book. And yes, Doc, I really haven't read the latter part about the exercise that you have. So I would be doing that soon.
Thank you so much, Anu. And I'm just going to invite you all to just come to the front row and walk up as somebody goes away, please. Let's make this very organic.
For this evening, you've all been listening, so is there anything you want to?
Anything, I mean, I know you haven't read the book. Anything you want to share, or from what you heard now?
My experience I wanted to share with you. I am Sri Lakshmi Mohan Rao. We both are FICCI flow mates, and I worked under 13 chairpersons as a treasurer for 13 years in FICCI flow. And once I had an opportunity to serve with her, and she had all innovative ideas. When we have meetings, every meeting is different than others. So that is what I felt. You know, she improved all that entrepreneurs' skills, and she made an effort of displaying their articles in such a way that they had very good sales on that day. So everybody was surprised. That is the first time in the FICCI flow we did it. Isn't it?
That nature thing.
So the minute she was taking the chairperson, she called me, you are going to be my treasurer. You are continuing. She
Because
passed
I
out.
don't have a head for numbers. I don't have a head for numbers, I said.
So that's why I thought I will share my experience here. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Sri
much for coming here, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yes. Ladies, gentlemen.
I must tell you about the first time I met Dr. Prithika, okay? I heard this whole thing about be careful with her, things like that. Everyone prepares you, right? The first time we were looking at, people who can be our honorary members. That's how, and Rati, my good friend, she would identify certain people and she say, but you have to go talk to them. Rati always does it to me because I think she gives me personal challenges. And even though Rati was free that day, she said, you go meet Dr. Prithika and make her an honorary member. So I just called her up and I think she gave me some time in the afternoon. And I went there to CIT colony. I was going from Savera and then she was there.
How many years ago?
23 years ago. 23 plus years ago. And I had never met her earlier, but you only hear these horror stories about her, right? I'm saying horror in a different kind of way.
That's why I said I was a totally different person before. So I don't know why this horror story impression of me has taken root so deep. But now I have to work on that and find out why.
That's
I
because
was
you are
coming
pretty and
across like a
intelligent.
battle axe.
Both. And when I saw her, she was wearing her shorts and a t-shirt and she was running around with a dog there. Through that particular thing that I'm going through, then she calls me up and then she says, how are you holding on? Up and then she says, how are you holding on? That makes me think, because sometimes I just start doing things. I just action whatever has happened or whatever. I'm already in the action mode. But when she asked me that question, I think I introspect and I'm happy that someone cares and is looking out for you. So thank you very much, Doc, for that. Love you.
Thanks, Nina. I think doctor is so part of so many things at Duchess Club and the Duchess women stand by her so much.
Hi, good evening everybody. I'm Bhuvana. So everybody's talking about when they met Prithika first. I can proudly say I think she was one of the... No, that's okay. I can say that I think I must have looked at her first thing coming out of my mom's womb because she was actually there when I was born. So that's how long the relationship goes. So, and Prithika is family, friend, philosopher, and guide. She's been there. She's been an inspiring soul for me. I think I have seen her as a young doctor, as a child, walking around, getting things done. And I think that was also a very inspiring picture that has always been with me. And I think one of the reasons I always say, I think my days in the hospital when my grandmother was ill, I used to see Dr. Dante, Dr. Prithika. I think that was the most inspiring phase of my life, and that's how I became a doctor, because I was very sure that's what I wanted to be as a child. And Prithika has always been this inspiring person for me. And of course, it's not that we don't fight, we fight a lot. Like any family, right? We do. And the two words two important words that I'm going to take home today when I always see Prithika is, one is Ikigai, right? She stands for that. There's always a purpose in her life, and she's always working for that purpose. And I think that is one of the reasons for her, great life. And I think you're obliged to write books like this, Prithika, because I think your life is so inspiring and you have to share your jnana with people. So I think that way, Ikigai is actually, an illustration of what that concept means. Two, of course, resilience. Today, the book is about resilience and how to practice resilience in life. Another concept is anti-fragility, right? That's something that is coming up so much more nowadays. Because life is not about this utopian world where there is no problem. There's always going to be problems, challenges, call it whatever you want. But it's all about how you cope with these problems or challenges and how you face them, how you come out of that. I think that anti-fragility, you don't break down, and how you come out resilient, winning the challenge, is all about how successful you're going to be. So you are again an embodiment of that. So thank you so much. Prithika, as I always say, I'm so happy to be around you, and good luck with everything that you do. Okay?
In fact,
Thank you so much.
I start something new and I'll just tell, how do you reinvent yourself? So many times she'll ask me. So, yes, Sarah.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, and you heard Prithika talk about my mom Zainab. They're very good friends. I know Dr. Prithika for, I don't even know what age I was. So I've seen her in so many different varied forms, how she has grown in her life, and that has inspired me. So many times, whenever I've been challenged, and I will look up and I will think of Dr. Prithika. I've also, in times of when I've needed help, I've always called her, and she's always been there. And two words that come very much to mind about Dr. Prithika is her childlike curiosity and her unstoppable spirit. I think these two surmount.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Lovely coming from a
Sarah
woman
is
herself.
actually a Louis Hay coach.
With a childlike smile. I always admire her smile that way. I think Nina was talking about, the next person can come. Nina was talking about the shorts and the t-shirt, and somebody was mentioning about a favorite photo somewhere. And my favorite photo is Dr. Me and Nina standing, I think, with Mauritius. She's wearing shorts. One really good looking, I'm not coming with the real word. Very good looking lady out there, and with whom you can talk for hours. During travel, we spent time talking, and I think we put together a presentation of the first trip by the Duchess Travel Wing. It was so much fun. She used to give us games and all those things. So much of life around her. And I remember we once clicked, what is that thing you do again and again? Not like a reel, it's called something else. And she, during, I think after her treatment and all that, she was wearing a long skirt. She held it like a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Pavade pidichittu aadra madri, she was doing this. We had it in Nina's room. I mean, she would go on like others would say, should I do this? What will people think? And then I remember for a cycling, she came cycling once very smartly into the parking lot. And everybody looked, hey, Dr. Prithika da, parda, abdi. You know, that kind of thing. Because, so I said, I heard a boy say this and I said, உங்களுக்கு தெரியுமா எங்க அம்மா ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் கூட்டி போனேன் மேடம் அந்த டாக்டர் இது you know that is the kind of so I mean doctors are not just this. She brought in so much the avatar was like Vishnu avataram madri pala avatarams there. I think anybody else would like to share?
Actually, the thing I miss most after the cancer treatment is my cycling, because I used to cycle everywhere. I never took the car for anything around the house. For all my life I've been cycling. So I've been told not to cycle because of the surgery and everything. And that's a big thing that I miss. Even now, I asked him when I went for the checkup, is it okay now, so many years? He said, no, don't ask for trouble. Everything is going well, keep quiet.
Hello friends, I'm Anne Gonzalez. My first interaction with doctor was as a doctor-patient relationship. I'm the founder member of an organization called the Multiple Sclerosis Society of India, and I can proudly say that doctor was my mentor. It was an unknown disease, very rarely known, lot of side effects, and most of all very depressing. I come from a family of doctors, but all of them were abroad, and when I was asked whether I could start this chapter, the first two people I turned to, one was Dr. Arjun Das and Dr. Prithika Chary. That was in the prime of her career, and as you know, very difficult to approach. So with trepidity, I used to go to her send patients to her, call her and try to get her feedback. And at times, the reply would be so blunt that I would stay away for a few days and then go back, crawl back, virtually crawl back. I still remember. But later on, when I met her at the Duchess Club, she was a totally different personality. She was more a friend, a philosopher, a guide. Not in the medical sense of the word, but as a human being. Doctor, your book on resilience is something that will touch the lives of all our MS persons. Because that's what they need today. They may have money, they may have fame, they may have name, everything. But what you have written will touch their life and make a difference.
How many members do you have in the Chennai?
We have 350 members over Tamil Nadu.
I only printed 300 books. Otherwise, I would have given it. Maybe Vamsi will print another 300 and we'll give one free to each of the MS. Only thing, they must know English. So
90%,
maybe that'll,
most of them.
Right. Other, I don't know how to translate.
We have 36 in Pondicherry. And what happens is, Doctor, today it's the young people who are coming to us with MS. When we started and I came and got your guidance, that was 27 years ago, it was people beyond the age of 35, 40, where the disease had already steeped in, and there was no question of just putting up with it, going on with it, just living through. Today we are getting them in the age group of 25 to 35. And in addition to all the invisible symptoms, it's their brain that takes over. And I'm sure this book is going to make a difference. I will see to it that one day I'll call you to talk to them, put this into their head, let it make a difference.
Thank you.
For which I'll be very grateful to you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to see all these ladies so gracefully looking as well as what she's sharing,
Raji,
the work
Ramesh,
she's doing.
Amala, anyone wants to say anything?
And the men also. So I stressed on the women because, thanks.
Okay, while the gentleman is coming, I never saw the terror side of you. It looks like I'm the unlucky one. I got to see her 2017, 2018 again. Okay. I just want to say, I think, to sum her up, she's got one mindset which is key to who she is right now. She's got a mindset of a lifelong learner. I call it LLL, the most important mindset you need in your life to be successful. And she's got plenty of that. She's very open to learning. I think that's the reason why you do what you do. You have a mindset of lifelong learner.
And I was also thinking about this horror image of mine. Let me tell you something. At all times, I had clarity on what I wanted. I wanted to be a good doctor. I wanted to do certain things. And I think that was my way of putting boundaries. See, you cannot disturb me any old time just because you want to. Because I'm busy doing something very good. So now in retrospect, when I think of this, so naturally people, and don't forget, I was at a time when I was very much a woman in a man's world. When a man does it, avaru romba correcta irukkaru. When a woman does it, she's a battle axe.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Veera Nallam. I'm based out of Austin, Texas. This is my second interaction with Dr. Prithika Chary physically. First time I met like a couple of months back along with my business partners. The first interaction was very good. With the first impression itself, I felt inspired from her, the way she's putting the technology. I'm a CEO of artificial intelligence company in Austin. So she was talking about a technology. Even I was surprised. Most of things I don't know. She was doing like telling that I have like 150 templates, but I use only 50 templates. She's having 150. She's outside of she's a doctor and she's like in almost his 70s. I was so
77 plus, almost 870.
I was so impressed actually. After that, my first interaction, like I spent only maybe 30 minutes, I think, with her. At the time, she was not feeling well. So second time, virtually we met her. She invited her one of the session. I think my wife also joined. She was like with the way she is explaining about the life, she very liked. She wants to be part of that course also. And my son is doing medicine. I always tell him whenever he comes, like he's doing final year MBBS, whenever he comes with a stress, a doctor's life is very stressed. They always started telling about Dr. Prithika Chary, how she is doing. See, at 76 also she is doing servicing the community. That is the way doctor has to do. That's I'm telling always. Whenever he is stressed out, I'm giving an example of Dr. Prithika Chary. So you are so inspired for my family also. I'm very fortunate to have an interaction with Dr. Prithika Chary. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Rajkumar, my yoga teacher.
And lovely when men can also come and share. Took them a little more time than us ladies though.
I'm Dr. Rajkumar. I'm a naturopathy doctor. I'm proud to be her yoga teacher also. Because she used to see, only she's practicing only medicine. She used to dance nicely, and also she do all tough yogas also. I used to tell her, is it possible? No, why can't I try? She's in this age also, and I know her when she was suffering from cancer, how she raised. She was having a difficult situation, and she tried all the way outs, even not only this conventional method, and also this yoga, naturopathy, all type of things she tried. And our two wings is Ramesh and Raji. She was flying with that. When she was down, they supported very well. So both of them supported her, and she raised. And always, whenever difficult situation or anything, she used to tell, no, I can come out of it, all this thing. And she's a very dedicated doctor. So, and also having a in-depth knowledge in that subject. Whatever the subject, not only for the brain health, but also gut health also, she will talk about that. I used to ask her how to connect the gut and brain. So the neurons are there in the brain as well as in the gut. So both she got an in-depth knowledge how to, and also she has she knows the mudras also. So when she was suffering from cancer, there's a mudra called this is the Vayu mudra. So how to release the gas. So when she had a lot of problem with the medication, all this thing, and she used to practice this mudra. And also this lotus mudra, one mudra is there, that is a lotus, that's a heart mudra. That also she used to practice. And also when her lung was not cope up, and also tried with the spirometer to increase the strength for the surgery. She prepared for the surgery, and also she has to lie down for a prolonged time. That time also she was telling, okay, I practice this first before the surgery. And also she was lifting only one ball in the spirometer. After that, after only 2-3 weeks, she was able to lift more than 2 balls. And she said, now I am prepared for that. I'm not afraid of this. Okay, let me fight with that. And so much problems she suffered. I know that. I was with her, and Mr. Ramesh knows, Mrs. Raji knows. So they were supporting. And also, whatever the exercises, she will always tell new exercises. It's all difficult for your age, I used to tell. But she used to say, no, age is only a number. She proved that also. All type of exercises, yoga, all she will try. So sometimes I used to say, this is difficult for you. No, let me try. If it is not, if I'm not able to do it, let it be. And also to stand on one leg is very difficult, always the balancing. That also she used to try. I said it's very difficult. So to calm down the mind. So now she learnt all the techniques of yoga also, the resilience, all type of techniques she learnt. And she is, now I'm really proud to be her teacher, because she is now at this age of 78. She is now also teaching online. And everything she learns, all the techniques, even in online, we don't know much about certain things, she knows everything, in-depth knowledge, all these things she developed. And also,
when we were preparing for the surgery, 4 months, I had to get myself more fit to tolerate an 8-hour surgery. And he helped me a lot because the position for the surgery is a very abnormal position. And if you're not fit, you'll get a paralysis after that because of the pressure. So what we did was we actually made ourselves more fit to undergo the surgery. So I have to undergo surgery. What will happen? I may live, I may not live. No. You got an opportunity. You got 4 months gap after radiation. Sit down and get yourself more fit. which is exactly what he did, and I owe it all to him, that I withstood 8.5 hours surgery without any complications.
So,
thanks, Rajkumar.
And also, she is also open-minded, and everything she will tell openly. And now also, she is an inspiration for everybody. Because now in this age, many people, even the doctors are retiring. And she says, no, I will continue till, whatever I want to do for do good thing for the society. Still, I am I'm thankful to take this opportunity to talk about her.
Thank you. Mr. Ramesh?
Thank you so much, sir. நீங்க சொன்னது வந்து எங்களுக்கு அவங்க அந்த பீரியட்ல எப்படி ப்ரிப்பேர் ஆயிருப்பாங்கங்கிறதெல்லாம் எங்களுக்கு ஒரு பிக்சர் ஆட்டம் வந்தது. It was so inspiring.
Hi, I'm Ramesh here. I'm the closest friend of doctor, I should say, and I'm privileged. And I know doctor right from 1987. Okay, and my association is including with her father I've interacted. Now many people were complimenting doctor, at the same time they were making a mention about how angry she becomes at times. But I want to make a very clear give a clear message in this. We all have a problem in understanding the difference between arrogance and confidence. It's a very thin line. When a lady talks confidently, we brand them as arrogance. So otherwise, I would not have been the closest friend of doctor if I had felt that way for more than 37 years. It's very difficult. So we all should know the intention of a person than about their behavior. That's what I feel. I used to tell, including my family members who were earlier having that type of this thing, and at all times she had been our guide. Anyone who has an issue in our family, she is actually part of our family. Anyone has an issue on anything, immediately she comes and she volunteers herself. So what I want to tell you, done this, and we have been with her all through her suffering as well as during her happy times, and I know exactly what she is undergoing and what type of effort she had put in to get this thing done, and she has really touched by this book. She has told everybody that this is the way life should be. Yes, we learn by experience. All of us make some mistakes, but unfortunately what happens is human nature, 99 times people are good, and one time when they are bad, we remember only that. Because every time, end of the day, we say, oh, I know. You know what happened that time? So they should have saved so many people in your family so many times. We don't get into that because it's our ego, and we refuse to accept someone behaving with more confidence. So this is the thing which I think I should convey to whomsoever who know her well. And second thing, I must tell her that you conducted this very well. You really handled it very well. Thanks.
And I think I should also share.
Ramesh and Raji are my 24-hour go-to persons, together with Nina and a few others. So 24 hours, anything I need, anytime I'm in trouble, I can just call them. And every one of you should have at least one person in your life whom you can call anytime for anything without feeling even bad about it. Just do it. I try to be that for many people.
Yes, you have. And
Amla, Dr. Amla.
And I also wanted to assure you, sir, everybody in this room, I'm sure, understands that depth of her, that she stands by us for many, even very difficult, embarrassing things we can share with her.
Dr. Amla, I'm a diabetologist. I know ma'am through my chief, Dr. Usha Shriram. I'm sure most of you might be knowing her as well. So even before that, I was working in a big corporate hospital called Gleneagles Global. Ma'am used to come there as a visiting consultant. So even when she was there in the neuromedicine OP, I used to be in the emergency room. So it used to echo that, Prithika ma'am OP la irukangala. So people, the nurses in the ER, they also used to be scared about her. And she was, so that was the first image that I got about her as a very distant professional. But when I entered ma'am's team, I found her to be a very friendly person. So we all we used to share the same consulting room. Ma'am has always been nice, and she always used to post pictures and inspirational things in our group, professional group. I remember one specific picture which she had shared from her Singapore trip. She was standing on a clear water surface, and her mirror image was showing in the below the water. So that was one very significant picture. So she always had this vibrancy around her, and as from her professional point of view, since I am also in the same profession, she has always been an inspiration professionally. So how active and cheerful and how professionals can be even in that age. And she is one of the very few medical professionals who have explored alternate things apart from speaking in conferences. We are monotonously do the same thing, speaking the same scientific sessions and all that. But ma'am has explored so many other different things and excelled in everything that she has done. So like most of you told, she has so many avatars about her. I'm really happy to be associated with ma'am.
That's lovely to hear. Thank you so much. Yes, I should also just tell you that I have a relative who's a doctor, who's a little younger than her. And one of the things, which is why I said you were pretty and intelligent, she used to tell me, Dr. Prithika Chary, she was so pretty. All the male doctors will just keep staring at her. They'll get tongue-tied. These are things I've heard. And so she told me she had to keep a guard around her. And that's what we were addressing, I think. Because as a doctor, as a single woman herself, she came and told me she was so intelligent, pretty, and that she would keep people. Aloofness was something she cultivated. Yes.
I know doctor for about last 30 years. For last 30 years, I've been doing some minor interior works and all for her. It is like, when we are into school, there will be some top teachers will be there. Okay, we may not like those teachers, and we used to comment, he is a tough teacher and she is the tough teacher, we don't like that teacher and all. But whatever teachings she or he says, that will be there for life, long lost in your life. And when we settle in our life, we say, because of that tough teacher, I am like this today. Like that, we fail to understand or we fail to mature. I think we were not having much maturity to understand what the tough teacher is telling to us. Only the life teaches us. Who's the tough teacher has changed this kind of thing into my life. And because of the teacher, I am like this and all we used to tell, like that I am looking at doctor now. She has changed many things in my life. And I never thought, she is a tough teacher. I was, whatever instructions she gives, I rightly take it and do it according to her taste. That is the reason why I am having continuous, the relationship with her.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Come, Selva Kumar. He is one of my students.
Good evening, everyone. Very happy to see all of you here. I am Dr. Selva Kumar, diabetologist, coming all the way from Tambaram after finishing 50 patients today. I just wanted to, don't want to miss the session. At the same time, it is not theoretically what has been written in this book. We had just a 3 days class last week. I attended. I don't think most of the classes I attended. And moreover, funny thing, the day before yesterday, one patient, for type 1 patient, he came, usually her mother used to bring her. And what happened, that time her father came along with her. That boy, after some time after the treatment over, then he sent all their attendants outside. And he said, illa ava enna vittu poita 4 maasama en kuda illa. He's a young boy, a 8th standard boy. Type 1, mother has to look after her very well. And that time he didn't come. And I don't know what to say. Then I just had a pause sometime. Then I told him, see, you have to accept the things. So the acceptance that the day before yesterday class, madam was taught. So definitely it was not only the theory, as well as she had resilient. She is a more role model for all of us. I'm very thankful to God that we are such a beautiful madam, mentor. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do we have anybody else coming up? யாராவது ஏதாவது சொல்ல வரீங்கன்னா வாங்க. Doctor, I just have one last thing I've been wanting to ask. See, many times when you have a husband and children and so many other things to run to, sometimes as women we tend to put that on prime focus. Some of us balance both of it. How has your life journey been, and all these things which you've been doing 70 plus also, being a single woman? What has been the plus and what has been the difficult moments, especially when you battled this without a family beside you?
See, everybody says that many women are, managing this work-life balance. They have this tricky thing. But very few people say, how are you managing everything alone? That also is difficult work-life balance. There are times when I feel like going for a movie and I wish there was somebody I could call and say, hey, let's go for a movie. Whereas if you have a family, you can always say, hey, maybe work something out and go.
Doctor, I remember the one time you were on, we were talking on Zoom or something, and somebody rang the bell, and she said, I'm not expecting anybody now. Who's ringing the bell? And it was a driver who landed up untimely. She said, idukku time maintain pannom. I have to leave this and go open that. That was, those little things and her dedication to just talking to me on Zoom.
No, I'm very clear about my boundaries. And I think all of us have to be. That's how a woman who is trying to get work-life balance, the mistake many people do is they don't set boundaries. And when you set a boundary, be specific and repetitive. Don't say one thing today, one thing tomorrow, so that the other person is totally confused as what is okay with you and what is not okay with you. So you need to set boundaries, otherwise you cannot protect yourself. In this book I've talked about how it's very good to give, but at all times make sure that you are protecting yourself. You have to protect your light, your aura. Otherwise people will tarnish it, they'll rip it open, they'll tear it to pieces. In Apollo, I used to see 40 patients a day. I used to finish at 8:30 in the night. And just as I'm leaving, one patient from some other outer city will come and say, ma'am, I've been referred, please see me today because I'm leaving day after tomorrow, my flight is day after tomorrow morning. And so I used to tell him, very well, it'll take me 2 minutes to see you, but I will not be giving you my best. And you will pay me my fees, I'll pocket the fees and I'll go. But if you take an appointment for tomorrow, I will give you my 100% because I am terribly tired, I am exhausted. I can only give you my exhausted self now. You want that? I'm willing to do it. I'll just see you, write some investigation, you won't know the difference. So you can say that I'm being a battle axe and being very strict and telling them to their face and things like that. Some patients get angry, they go away. But majority of patients don't. Because nobody wants a half job being done by me for them. So be very clear. See, and it's important for women, especially in this kind of situation like you said. See, this time is, I'm not okay. Right now, I'm not feeling okay. It's okay to admit you're not okay. That's why we make a mistake. Also, you say, see, we're having this disagreement. Right now I can't handle it. Let's take a break. I say the power of the pause. So let's take a break, we'll come back to it. I'm not saying we're not going to discuss it. Let's come back to it. Sometimes it gets you that calming down, things work out better. So we learn, again the amygdala, we learn to calm down the amygdala from its reactive state to a responsive state. So I think as a single woman, it's really tough, let me tell you. Not only doing things on your own, staying afloat. There are many times when you want to give up. And I think it's actually tougher being a single woman living alone especially than it is for people with a family. But having said that, let me also assure you, I've had all the problems and issues you people have as family, from the family around me, with none of the benefits of family, which is a double whammy. My family are my friends, and by God, I'm grateful for the friends I have. Thank you.
I think it's such a lovely evening. The setting was perfect. The breeze was lovely. Yeah. It's not closed on every side. It's so symbolic, I think, with all the kamalams around us. It's lovely that all of you came. If there's anything else any of you would like to add, I think I'd like to finish with this note with the breeze coming in like that.
Yeah, as you rightly said, Shylaja, I think the best setting for an amazing book, and my intention is, can we take the book to everyone who really needs hope in life? That's my intention, Doc. And as I said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to take this book to the nook and corner of this country and let people read this. And all the very best wishes. And I know you have the next book idea coming. You want to give a little glimpse of what the next book is about?
The next book is about adversity to advantage, the stress fitness transformation, how to avoid getting into trouble. So I didn't know that it was possible for me to prepare and not get into trouble. So I learned that lesson and I've created that concept. There is a fourth book about my epilepsy center, which is also parallelly I've started writing, called The Epicenter Story. Because that was another very, very tough thing which I did. And just 4 friends supported me. I had a total savings of 5 lakhs. I bought a machine for 22 lakhs. I took a place, 4,000 square foot place for 25,000 rupees rent a month. All in 1994. With the advance of 3 lakhs. I really don't know how it all happened and how we got through it. Sometimes I think back and say, oh my God, what did I do? But when you got your hell bent, I will serve people with epilepsy. I will make a difference. I can change those lives. I know I've got the power in me to change those lives. And I tell you, I've changed thousands of lives. A full life with everyone, like everyone, in spite of epilepsy. And now our Rotary Club, they've joined me. We are doing a vocational rehab center for underprivileged people with epilepsy who don't get jobs. So we are going to be teaching them skills or a vocation which they can do from home and become economically independent. Our first batch, actually, we are starting on Monday. And one of my patients, he gave us a generous donation of 1 crore. And here I was selling my previous book for 250 rupees, collecting that money, then getting some donations from one of my patients. I had a total collection of about 2 lakhs. And then everybody, my Rotary Club, the treasurer, she said, when I saw that message from the bank, I counted the zeros, doctor. I wasn't sure what this amount was. So, when you are determined, honestly, I'm telling you, I had no clue. I wanted to collect 1 crore, mind you. I had no clue it will happen. And so, your manifestation also depends on the intensity of your wanting. So I said I will serve people with epilepsy, and that epicenter took off. And that's what is now my legacy now with this vocational rehab center. So that's the message. You must have that fire in your belly, that burning desire. And for that you need clarity, but you must know what is important in your life, what you want. Your why has to be very, very clear.
That's beautiful, lovely way to sum it up with this very positive, hope instilling note. Thank you so much. And I think your resilience deserves a standing ovation from all of us. Thank you very much for everyone on the live also.
Back.